Chapter 4. Seminole Wind. The sun was beginning its slow descent when Cole left Katja's apothecary, but the heat refused to leave with it. The late afternoon air was still thick and oppressive, pressing down on everything like a wet wool blanket. Sweat rolled down Cole's back beneath his gator skin, duster as he rode deeper into the swamp. Even as the sun dipped lower, the humidity refused to break. His mind, however, was far from the trail. Those silver-gray eyes kept drifting back to him. Katya Volkov, standing behind that clean counter, the way her expression changed when she tasted his tincture, the way she told him to come back tomorrow with more, the memory stuck with him like cockleburs on a mule's tail. He shook his head, trying to clear his thoughts. "Focus, damn it," he muttered to himself. "Ain't got time to be thinking about some girl." The trail narrowed until it disappeared completely. Cole dismounted, tied his mule to a cypress's knee, and continued on foot. He had set a heavy trot line early that morning in a secluded cypress pond, and he needed to check it before full dark. The water here was black as ink, stained deep by decades of fallen leaves and cypress tannin. He rolled his trousers up high on his thighs and waded into the knee-deep water. The coolness felt good against his skin at first. Cicadas screamed overhead in a relentless chorus. Mosquitoes swarmed around his face and arms, biting at every inch of exposed skin. The air smelled of wet earth, rotting vegetation, and the faint, sweet skunk of wild cannabis growing somewhere deeper in the hammocks. Cole moved carefully along the trot line, running his hands along the heavy cord, checking each hook one by one. His fingers worked with practiced ease. Years of doing this exact thing had made the motions automatic. He never saw the cottonmouth. The thick, dark snake lay coiled on a half-submerged cypress knee, perfectly camouflaged against the mossy wood. It struck without warning, fast, silent, and deadly. Two razor-sharp fangs sank deep into the back of Cole's calf. Cole sucked in a sharp hiss between his teeth. Damn it. The pain was instant and vicious. Burning fire exploded up his leg, racing through his veins like molten lead. His vision swam. His leg buckled beneath him. He crashed forward into the black water with a heavy splash. The world tilted violently. Darkness crept in at the edges of his sight as the venom worked its way through his system. With terrifying speed, from the low branches above, a figure had been watching him the entire time. Night water dropped from the tree like a shadow-given form, landing in the water with barely a splash. In one smooth motion, she grabbed Cole under the arms and dragged his limp body through the mud and onto the grassy bank. She flipped him onto his back. Without hesitation, she pulled a razor-sharp knife from her belt. She made two quick, precise cuts over the puncture wounds, then pressed her hands firmly around the bite and began rhythmically squeezing, forcing as much venom and blood out as she could. She worked fast and efficiently, her long black hair falling forward like a curtain, two eagle feathers braided into it. Cole's eyes fluttered open, the world blurry and spinning. Through the haze of pain, he saw her, a young Seminole woman in buckskin leggings and a fitted tunic. Her movements calm but urgent. She looked up, meeting his dazed gaze. "Stay still," she said quietly, her voice low and steady. "The more you move, the faster the venom spreads." Cole's breathing was ragged. "Who are you?" She didn't answer right away. She reached into a small pouch at her belt and pulled out a handful of crushed herbs, pressing them directly onto the wounds. "I am Haudely," she finally said. "When I speak to outsiders, you may call me Nightwater." Cole let out a weak, pained chuckle that turned into a cough. "I'm Cole Maddox. Most people call me Gator." Nightwater studied his face for a long moment, as if deciding whether the name suited him. Then she gave a single, slow nod. "You were lucky today, Gator," she said, pressing more herbs into the cuts. "Most men who get bit this deep don't get to tell the tale." Cole's head dropped back against the muddy bank, staring up at the darkening sky. Feels like I'm dying." "You're not dying," she replied firmly, her hands still working. "Not today. Not if I can help it." "Why'd you help me?" he whispered, fighting to stay conscious. Nightwater looked down at him, her dark eyes calm and unreadable in the fading golden light. "Because the swamp already has enough dead men in it," she answered quietly. Cole managed one last weak smile before his eyes drifted shut again. "Thank you, Nightwater." She stayed beside him as the first stars began to appear overhead. The sounds of the swamp slowly returning around them, frogs croaking, cicadas singing, distant thunder rolling. The green swamp had claimed another piece of him that night, but it had also given him something in return,